Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it facts straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal to the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket, put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we broadcasting all over the world. And guess what? It's Women Rock Wednesday, and I see Ashley Jones, Angie Stewart, Marquessa Carter is already in the Chop Shop. Jimmy, we got a loaded day. We got Super Bowl. Jimmy, you got to explain this to me. How can you be mediocre and get a raise? You gonna have to explain that to me. You and get promoted. You gonna have to explain that to me, and you know what I'm talking about. But guess what? I'm gonna let you. I got to find out all the women on the Facebook feed and all the women. So Jimmy, do me a favor. Like I said, happy Women Rock Wednesday. And Jimmy, I'm gonna let you take over while I do this for the women. And guess what? I got a surprise for y'all. Go, do your thing, baby.
Well, first of all, in case you guys aren't aware, Bill O'Brien from the Houston Texans on yesterday was given the title of general manager for the Houston Texans. Also, that's by the owner, Cal McNair, right? That's the son of the late owner, Bob McNair.
The boss.
Well, and he also promoted Jack Easterby, right?
Yeah.
To executive vice president of football operations. Now, it's funny is from what I understand, and trust me, guys, you guys know I'm nowhere near the football group, but one thing about it, I noticed some things is that it's a small world out there, and we all know somebody that knows somebody. We all know somebody that has been in the room or is in the room or next door to the room, or even the person that helped clean up the room or set the room up before they come in the room. And those people are privy to intel. But what I understand is that Bill O'Brien is sort of perceived by a lot of people in the NRG Stadium, not just the Texans, but in the stadium, as somewhat of a bullyish attitude, demeanor. He was running things already. So basically, this title, both titles, and then Jack was his right-hand man already. So basically, this Texans just made it official and gave these guys the name tag to go on their resume. So now it qualifies. Think about this, how they do it for each other. And sometimes you see it happening, but you still refuse to help your own in the similar fashion on a regular. Here's what happened. Neither one of those guys are getting a raise right now. I want you to pay attention, though, because it's somehow neither one of them are getting one right now. They're just getting the job title for doing the jobs that they've already done. Like Bill O'Brien, he oversees the personnel, right? Jack, he now would focus primarily on departments on the other side of the organization, such as
negotiations,
budgets and strength and rehab, training, medical, and analytics go up under that as well.
Wait a minute, now, who gonna do the contract negotiation then? Well,
you say who? What'd you say?
Because that's the most important thing. Who gonna do?
Well, they said it's Jack. They said that what's the other guy named Jamie Roots? Jamie Roots, he's the president.
Okay, that's the guy.
Going to oversee the business side of the organization.
Okay. Now remember, Jimmy, I told you the guy who they fired not too long ago. I can't think of his name.
He just brought him in, Brian or Cates or something like that, Coates or whatever his name.
No. They fired a guy. No, they fired a guy before all of this happened. We've been on that for 16 years. But
is that the same? You talking about the numbers guy?
The numbers guy. The guy who been taking care.
Yes.
They've been having a great salary cap. They had no problem. They ain't paying nobody. And they fired that guy. So this gonna be interesting to see. That's why I wanted to know. I haven't looked all out. This is what I thought about Jimmy this morning. I said the Texans played whole last year without a GM, right?
Yeah.
Now they have one. So somebody that Bill O'Brien can work with in conjunction with, right? To help build a team and to meet with the GM. All Bill O'Brien got to do is look in the mirror. Because the coach, all he got to do, and it's just what, Jimmy? Bill O'Brien, who has not done a lot to me, this is sort of like, to me, Jimmy, the Lannisters. Did you ever watch the Game of Thrones?
No, I remember I never watched it.
Oh, you never liked the Lannisters. I mean, that was the big family. But he had King Joffrey was this little punk of a king who only was a king because his dad died. He always running around talking about, I'm the king, I'm the king, I'm the king, right? He always screaming, right? And his grandfather told him, said, dude, if you have to go around screaming to everybody you're the king, you're really not the king at all. And that's why I think about this Bill O'Brien thing. He cusses people out in the stands. And I just don't see, this what got me, Jimmy. I thought about it. It's a very bizarre situation, but Bill has done nothing other than like the other Bills. It's two more Bills that he's affiliated with. They successful. Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. He came up under that tree, right? He was an assistant under Bill Belichick in New England. It just seems strange that the Texans and Cal McNair would give this guy the keys. I wanted to fire him. You remember? I wanted to fire him. And I'm going to tell you what's going to come back and bite him, Jimmy. They're not doing Clowney's deal and this Tonsil deal. Let me show you why the Tonsil deal might. Tonsil can walk, Jimmy. Jimmy, when you trade some 2 first-round draft picks for somebody, always remember this in business. In the NFL, they gave up 2 first-round draft picks to get Townsend. And didn't lock him into a deal. Because what? Didn't have no GM. Jimmy, that's going to come back to bite him because guess what? Tunsil got all the leverage. And if they didn't want to pay that other guy who left and went to Seattle, his name's bogging my mind, slipping my mind. How they want to pay Tunsil? Mr. Jump Off Sides. How they going to play? How they going to pay him? Now you can go. I just had to add that to you, some spice to you. That's all.
Now, and another thing that I picked up is that, and you guys can connect the dots on this pretty easy. Okay. That Bill O'Brien and Cal, right? They are boys, obviously.
They done turn a few corners together.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're boys.
Yeah.
So when this personifies the good old boys club, and another thing about it, another deal, you mentioned the Clowney deal, and you mentioned Tunsil. Mm-hmm. Another deal that took place up under Bill O'Brien's watch as de facto GM that was a sign that it was a disaster waiting to happen. And remember the playoffs? Remember the late in the season? And the playoffs. They had 2 games in the playoffs, the Texans did, right? Well, the last 2 games, put it like that. And remember, I kept saying to you guys, why they giving the ball to number 23? Why did I get the ball to Dookie? And y'all was laughing at me. How to say that ain't his name Duke. I said, well, I'm calling him Dookie. Because obviously I did not realize they gave up so much. They didn't have to give up this much for this guy as being delegated to a backup role. When they got him, that made us believe that Duke Johnson was going to be the next Arian Foster.
No, Jimmy, you got to have at least 2 good backs, Jimmy, on any team.
They overpaid for Duke.
Yeah, but you still got that. But yeah, because you had to go get him. Okay. Yeah.
You overpaid for him. And Bill O'Brien, his fingerprints is on that as well.
But Jimmy, the running backs and the fullbacks and those kind of backs right there, they're not that highly paid anyway. So I'm just helping you out. They didn't throw their cap structure.
Okay. Let me tell you something.
Out of place.
Let me tell you what they gave for Duke.
Okay.
2 first-rounders and a second-rounder.
Wait a minute. How can they give up 2 first-rounders for Duke and 2 first-rounders for Townsend? No, they gave up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. 2 first-rounders
for Townsend.
And the first and the second. Oh, yeah, that's Townsend deal. That's a Townsend.
That's all right.
That's Townsend deal.
I got you back.
That's a Townsend deal.
Yeah.
And they gave up way too much for Duke. I don't have the details on Duke. I wrote my note, had the details for Townsend. Yeah. Sometimes I got to look at my own handwriting.
That's all
right. But one thing about it, I like John McCain. He's a longtime writer for the Houston Chronicle, and Brian Smith as well. I like the way he ended his story today, his article in today's Chronicle. And he says, this last sentence pretty much sums it up for your Houston Texans fan. In regards to Bill O'Brien, he says, the Texans will be the smartest or the dumbest team in the NFL next season. There is no in between. That pretty much sums it up for them. Well, that's true. That's true as it gets.
Why would they be the smart? I mean, help me. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, understand. What the Texans are doing, they're touting their double-digit wins again this season. They're touting winning the AFC, their division, 4 out of the last 5 years or whatever. So they're taunting and toting that as the hey, we're in a good space. Everybody can't win the Super Bowl. This is we're making progress. Just look at what's going on.
So they won. They won 1 playoff game, right? That's progress. Yeah. That's progress.
Well, they're saying they won 10 games. They won double-digit games. Okay. So that's progress to them. Understand? This is the angle.
Hey, you said something a minute ago. They more than buddy. Boy, they done listen to me, Jimmy. Cal and Bill O'Brien done turned some corners together. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Because you got to remember, Cal didn't have all these responsibilities. His dad and this other guy I forgot was running. Cal was just the playboy rich, the rich son. You know, like, my daddy that built this. I'm finna. See, Jimmy, you always remember, Jimmy. That's why a lot of people have to watch how they, who inherits their money and who inherits their power. Jimmy, because most likely Cal didn't work for the millions that Bob McNair had. He's a trust fund kid. And sometimes these guys just do second generation. Lamar Hunt's son is different because that dude got in there and worked. The mama, she got in there and worked. The wife got in there and worked. This guy right here, man, Cal had a couple of DUIs around here that y'all don't even know about because his daddy had that clout. And the police just let that Rolls Royce just keep on going by. Yeah.
I got another one that Bill O'Brien's fingerprints is on.
Okay, who you got?
The organization just fired the defensive coordinator. Bill O'Brien just announced today that they're bringing him back as a role of a defensive advisor. So
that's his boy too.
That's his boy too.
Yes.
That's his boy too.
He got to have one. Got to have one of them around.
He the one who bring the cognac. He the one who bring the cognac and the good stick.
Jamie, he bring the crown and the Hennessy. Because our culture bring the crown and the Hennessy.
The crown and the Hennessy. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And a couple of sticks on the line. That's what he good for. He good to let them know it's okay for them to go ride. They want to go to the turkey leg or whatever they want to go to Breakfast Club. He the one that's gonna validate them going up and going up in there and make the call. I mean, but all seriousness, Romeo Crennel is being brought back. It's kind of like you ever heard anybody work at the airport or worked at a job and they get fired, but then they get rehired and they accept the deal as a contract employee. So that means you're not part of the union. That's basically what they've done. They brought him back.
They want him around.
But as a defensive advisor.
Jimmy, what I don't like though, Jimmy, that defense, man, it just ain't that good, Jimmy. You got to put some money into it. Jimmy, we don't have nobody, no record. Wendy Merciless is the only guy that we didn't ever tried to pay. In your homeboy, Big Sam, they ain't tried to pay nobody. Jonathan Joseph can't play no more, bless his little heart. Y'all finally got rid of the other guy from the other corner who played for Denver, I think. I forgot. See, I don't even know these guys' name when they leave. But we finally got rid of Jimmy. They need to put some money. See, maybe, hold on, Jimmy, hold on. The other guy who they fired, who was keeping the salaries low, maybe they got rid of him so they can pay somebody because he didn't want to pay nobody. You follow me? Because he was keeping all the salaries low, Jimmy, for 16 years. So now they might spend some money.
So that means
Kareem Jackson. Thank you, Doug. See, I forgot his name. Went to Alabama. I'm sorry. Keep going.
And say his name again.
Kareem Jackson. That's the other cornerback other than Joe who get burnt. And the dude Kevin Johnson, they drafted him in the first round. He got burnt. They sent him away. Jimmy, we got Jimmy, and we had the Honey Badger, and we got rid of him. He didn't get no DWIs. He didn't have no bad drug tests in Houston last year, and we get rid of him, and now he's going to the Super Bowl, and he's an integral part of the Kansas City Chiefs defense. But we get rid of him. I mean, don't pay him. Jimmy, Jimmy, I'm serious. They might be so listen to me, y'all. If they start paying people, then just say that was the move.
This is really unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
This guy went from a coach that pretty much 90% of the Houston Texans fans wanted gone. Not only do he stays retained, but he gets a double shot of power as being granted the title of general manager. So that means if Bill O'Brien falls out of favor on Deshaun Watson, that means the negotiations for his contract could be hindered or hampered.
If Bill don't do what?
If he falls out of favor with him as a coach.
Yeah.
That means you got to go. The dealings become harder because you think he ain't worth it now.
Did you hear what Hey, y'all, did you hear? Deshaun might have knew something y'all didn't know. Did you hear after that game, they started talking about Bill O'Brien? Deshaun took up for Bill O'Brien, homeboy. Right after they lost, he took up for him. Go get the soundbite. But that's Chris Olsen, Jimmy, the longtime executive who the Texans fired, who was keeping those salaries low. His name Chris Olsen. That's his name. I didn't get his name, and I hate that because I met the guy and I know you know of him, but it's Chris Olsen. So but yes, Jimmy. Hey, Deshaun Watson was on the right side of politics. Ain't that what you said? Ain't that what you said? You got to be on the right side. He said, "That's my coach. That's my man."
I'm just still thinking about Romeo. That's like
Romeo. Whoa, Jimmy. You can't get mad if a brother still got a job. Jimmy,
I'm not mad at him not having a job. I'm mad at how the Texans that's like filing for a divorce and say we're gonna get divorced, but you're gonna be my girlfriend.
Jimmy,
that's what they did. You can't be my wife, but you can be my girlfriend.
Yeah,
that's what they just did.
Jimmy, 71 years old, Jimmy. You can keep him on as advisor. Because you know for a fact, Bill O'Brien, you didn't give him the pieces. You didn't spend money on the defense. If you my girlfriend, or my wife, whatever you said, you my girlfriend, my wife, who I'm leaving, I didn't spend enough money on you, then okay. Well, look here, baby. All right, I didn't buy you no Gucci, but I'm finna buy you a lot of Coach purses now. You know, just sit over here. You ain't gonna get this Gucci and then Louis Vuitton, but I'm gonna give you a few Coach purses. That's all. Cause guess what? I didn't take care of you the way I should have took care of you, baby. But I want to keep you around because I like what you do for me. You feel me? So Jimmy, you know, come on, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
And reading some of the comments and Doug said they need to overhaul the secondary, better protection for Deshaun, get someone who can fill in for Fuller while he sits out for 4 or 5 games each season. And Herb says that this means that the Texans don't give a damn about the opinions of their fan base. Stop buying tickets and jerseys and see what happens. You know, and then Lionel Guard contradicts a part of what Doug said. He says Watson don't need more protection as much as he needs an offense that allows him to get rid of the ball faster. And then Trey said technically they never fired him, talking about Romeo. They never fired him. They put someone in his place and wanted him to decide if he would retire or come back in this role.
Thank you, Trey, for looking out for Romeo, because Jimmy throwing Romeo for heavy trash.
Heavy trash, indeed. But
Jimmy, you don't like Romeo, man.
No.
Romeo didn't let you in the VIP. Because you know,
like,
Jimmy, I know you. If somebody don't let you in that VIP room, your ass get mad at him. Romeo, you was at a spot and Romeo wouldn't let you in his VIP room, Jimmy.
Hey,
talk to
what
me.
I said the other day?
What?
That's Romeo, y'all. If he know what? His marketing, his agent need to go and get him a marketing person. They can make his silhouette like that. He could probably sell T-shirts and put 35-3 on that thing or whatever the score was when we was getting our heads beat in.
Hey, Bill O'Brien helped in that because he helped the field position. Jimmy, Bill O'Brien helped. Bill O'Brien got a raise. Dude, y'all can have Bill O'Brien, man. Y'all can have it. I'm done with it. I ain't gonna talk about it no more. What else we got? I know we got a fantastic day today. What else? Herb, what you want me to put up there? I understand protection is a premium. I just said we got to spend some money on the defense too. Why y'all so critical with everything that comes out of my damn mouth? I just said they got to spend so the offense scored some points the other day. But the defense allowed somebody to come back and score 41 damn points. So guess what? You should look at putting money in the defense. Now, Jimmy, I'm gonna start. You know what? I know what I'm gonna start doing. Keep going, Jim. What you got?
And I'm laughing looking at some of the comments now,
Crazy out here.
and don't forget, guys, on the back nine, we are expecting a conversation with one of the coaches from the Cy-Fair Elite Girls Youth Basketball Program, who were in the Los Angeles area tournament that was hosted by the Mamba basketball grassroots program that was popularized by Gigi Bryant on the back nine. So stay tuned for that conversation. We're expecting that to be pretty.
Jim, and it's Women Rock Wednesday, and I want to stick a special shout out to all the women, because to me, I had five sisters. Women to me are superheroes. They're superheroes to me. They're the only people on this planet. They have the privilege of giving birth, and nobody else does. Women are magic. So that's why we always, to me, and the women are magic. I take my hat off to women, and I watch the things you do, and I saw Jimmy. It was some stuff. Jerry West was broken last night. He, last night it kind of got me a little bit, Jimmy. TNT, because they didn't play the game last night. They just had a long tribute to Kobe, and dude. I wasn't a friend of his. And I'm trying to figure out, to me, why I feel this way about this player in this time. I'm talking about me. I know he's in a better place. I know the kids, and I understand. I've had my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister. Death has hit my family in a way, you wouldn't believe. But this guy, man, Jerry West, he even talked about how he stopped Kobe from walking. Kobe had went off on Jerry Buss, and everybody went crazy and stopped, because Kobe said, I'll go play for the Clippers. It really make y'all mad. And he said, man, no, man, you can't go play for that racist owners. I said, wow. They been knowing. And Jimmy, let me tell you something I love about this guy, Kobe Bryant, man. It's a lot of stuff, we it's a lot of stuff that we're not privy to. But how he was so focused on his legacy and what he could give to the world and what he could give the kids. I don't know if you knew this, Jimmy. When you look at what he did and the world he tried to create after he retired. A lot of people told him to slow down, man. But Jimmy, he created children books. He got a podcast geared toward children. He got a whole universe that he had created with characters and stories told in a way that children can hear them and learn them. He was always thinking about how the children a learning process. So how they learn. And he wanted to have stories to teach them morals. In a way, he thought of himself as Walt Disney. He was creating a whole new universe. And the people, like I told you, the people kept telling him, relax. Jimmy, the day after he hit the 60 points, he went next morning to his office. He got up early in the morning, went to church, and went to his office. I'm glad he didn't relax like people wanted him to relax. I'm glad he kept going, Jimmy. In his office in Newport right now, y'all, there is approximately 30 books already written that haven't been published yet. That's the man that these people are. It's bigger than basketball, man. Where you got 8 grown men, Derek Fisher even telling the stories of how and Dwayne Wade, they was playing in a game, and Dwayne Wade kept hitting him on on his arm while he was shooting. And he couldn't make it, he couldn't make a shot. They wasn't calling the fouls, Jimmy. They in Miami. Jimmy, after the game in Miami, Kobe put on his gear and went out there and practiced with the guys hitting his arm while he's shooting. Dwayne Wade and LeBron peeped in there and saw him. They was already dressed. They took off their clothes and went start working out upstairs. This the kind of effect this man had on his peers, man. It's unbelievable, the stories. If you get a chance, go YouTube it, because it's just so much, man. You had Dwayne Wade telling stories, Charles Barkley telling stories, Ernie. These grown men, they were just crying. Kenny Smith, hold up, Rick Fox, who they said had died in the crash.
Somebody had released that,
yes,
and published that on social media.
Yeah, and B. Scott, 30 books might not be enough, but that's all he wrote, B. Scott. He died, B. Scott. Come on. Jimmy, but it's unbelievable the impact this man has had on the world. Unbelievable. I'm not even sad no more, Jimmy. I'm going to celebrate his life. I'm not. That dude was a bad dude. He was a bad dude. Bad dude.
Indeed. And we didn't mention on yesterday is that a lot of the product that Kobe Bryant product, Nike had pulled from their online stores. A lot of the stuff that was available and a lot of it and had sold out of a lot of some things, but a lot of other things, they pulled it. And the reason being that it was pulled is because they wanted to make their efforts to not help create a deep black market for Kobe Bryant items. There were a couple of those sneaker specialty shops that also pulled Kobe items from out of their stores. You know, you have different stores in certain cities that you can go to, you know, that the sneakerheads flock to.
Yeah,
every city,
every
city has one now. It has one of those because those, they get a lot of the exclusives. Well, a couple of those stores have got in line and pulled it off because they didn't want to help push. Well, then they want people to be involved with people profiting off of this man's death.
I got a question, though,
that's right now. Put it like that.
Because Nike released a statement that they said they didn't pull the products off the shelves. Monday night, they said they had suspended sale, but then they said they didn't pull them because instead of pulling them from stores, they sold out of the product.
They sold out. That's what I'm saying. A lot of the stores that had it went on and sold out of their product, but then there were other stores that had specialty shops that actually pulled some of their stuff. So
not Nike, but some Nike retailers.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people that has plugs.
I got you.
You know, like and a lot of those specialty shops started because some people have plugs and connects at different sneaker companies, and their plugs are going to send them some exclusives, and those exclusives, you know, will be there. And you guys know what I'm talking about. There's one.
Well, you can't buy mine. I gave away a pair of them. I wish I hadn't gave them back. I wish I had them back now. I gave away a nice pair.
I gave you a pair of them. I gave you a pair of Kobe's a while back. It gives it a young one. Yeah, some young Kobe. I said, them might be the classics.
No, them was some Kyrie's.
No,
it was Kyrie's. It was a hybrid.
I've given away every single pair of Kobe Bryant shoes that I've ever owned.
But you didn't give them. Whoa. You didn't give them away. We made a trade.
Well, I'm just talking about I've depleted myself, not just with you. I'm talking about period.
Right.
I don't own a single pair of Kobe Bryant shoes. It just was too tight on my feet. It was too tight. You know, I didn't just like them up to wearing them. Because when I wear sneakers, I'm wearing sneakers for about 10, 12 hours. Jimmy. And on sneaker days. And I don't own a pair of Kobe's to this day right now.
And guess who got about 1,000 pounds?
Not Kobe's.
My son.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just trying to get over to where his mom lived. I don't want to say that. I don't want nobody breaking in the house. But that's where probably all of those Corbys are stored. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Jim. Dude, let me tell you something, man. It's crazy to me today. But Jimmy, you don't forget, I still and when we have a few minutes, you know what? I don't know what time we have now, but I can do it tomorrow. But I still got something about Kobe's life and the way he lived his life that all of us can use, and I'm gonna probably give it to you tomorrow. So be prepared for it. I've been working on it, so be prepared for it. Well, what else you got, Jim? We got a couple more things. What else we got?
Yeah, I mean, also we got NBA news. Of course, we mentioned the TNT thing last night, but there was a few few games that took place around the country last night. Mm-hmm. I was really shocked at how badly Phoenix beat the hell out of the Dallas Mavericks last night. I'm telling you, I was really shocked at that game. It was the lead had got up to right up at 40 points at one time during the fourth.
You talking about Milwaukee?
No, Phoenix.
Who Phoenix
over the
beat?
Dallas Mavericks last night.
I didn't even look at
I was watching the end of it, the last, like most of the last fourth quarter, I was watching some of that game.
Okay.
Just and you know, you just watching because I was in disbelief. And this is a game where, of course, Luka played, you know. Porzingis played. Porzingis had 9 points. That's all. And Luka had 21 points, 6 rebounds, only 2 assists. You know, those guys didn't play a whole lot because the game was a blowout. You know, in the third quarter. Put it like this: third quarter, Phoenix outscored Dallas. Get this, 48-22 in the third quarter.
Who was that coach at Phoenix? What his name?
Say, that's a good dude right there, man. Okay. That's a black man. Monty is doing a great job.
Jimmy, Monty Williams, who had some tragedy a couple of years ago himself.
With his wife.
His wife got killed in the car accident. Coming to the game.
And the game rewarded him, rightfully so. He was an assistant coach at the time with OKC. And Monty was. Mm-hmm. And after that happened, they let him sit. Just told him, we got something for you. We're going to show our love. We're going to take care of you. And they gave and Jerry Colangelo, who's one of the most powerful of the owners in the NBA, gave him the job.
No. Phoenix? Yeah, got nothing to do with Phoenix no more. Robert Tarver.
Okay. Colangelo, he don't own Phoenix no more.
No. I'm going to tell you who helped. He came up under Pop's tree.
The Spurs. Yeah, absolutely.
Under Pop's tree.
When he passed away.
That gives you, yes.
I mean, his wife, passed away.
Yeah.
That was so much sentiment. Oh. And the game rewarded him with a head coaching job. And albeit it was Phoenix. But the thing was, he couldn't go but one way. You know, they couldn't do no worse. The Phoenix team, and right now they're 7 games out of being away from being a 500 team.
Guess who
they've won 20 games by the month of January. It's been a few years since Phoenix had won 20 games before the end of January. I don't know how many years. One of you guys may want to look that up. And but last night, Kelly Oubre, he's about to get a bag.
He just got a bag, Jim.
I'm talking about, he just got a 2-year deal, I think. 2-year, 40 million, something like that.
3-year deal.
3-year deal. He's playing really good, but DeAndre Ayton is back.
Jimmy.
And DeAndre, he had a career high last night. 31 points and 9 rebounds, 13 for 15 from the field.
And Jimmy.
And didn't miss a free throw.
While we giving our shout out to Monty Williams, don't forget who's the GM over there who hired him. James Jones. So you keep forgetting about that. James Jones is the GM at the Phoenix Suns. So don't. So always. Jimmy, you always know I look into every organization and see their hiring practices. And James Jones is it. I want that just like the New York Knicks. Why couldn't that happen to the Knicks, Jimmy? Because the Knicks don't have Devin Booker. The Knicks. Maybe if the Knicks had Devin Booker. Jimmy, if the Knicks would have got Zion, I don't think Fizdale would have got fired.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because if Zion wouldn't have been able to play.
Oh, you're right. Okay,
season,
you're right.
I don't know.
You're right.
That and then Zion was Fizz was already at odds with several of the players anyway. So that would have been the
players don't like Fizz, man. That's your boy.
Yeah, Fizz McGill. I mean, but you have to realize Fizz is an old Compton, California guy.
Yeah.
He's
what that mean? So,
Kelly,
Byron Scott.
But Fizz was closer, I think. I ain't never been around Byron Scott,
He's from the hood.
And I'm as far as just how depth. You got people that's from the hood and people that just got lucky enough to never get in handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? Some people just never.
Man, Fizz ain't been in no damn handcuff.
No, I say lucky enough to never get in handcuffs.
Oh, okay.
Fizz wore a white beater. Put it like that. Back in the day, Fizz wore a white beater. So some of them guys, it
is what it is.
But other games last night, things that was surprising. Bradley Beal scores 47 points, and the Wizards still lose to the Bucks without the Greek Freak.
Hold on. Middleton had 51 though, pimp.
Without the Greek Freak in uniform last night.
Right.
No Greek Freak.
Right.
Yet the Milwaukee Bucks still managed to score 151 points.
Jimmy, that team kind of good.
This was the ultimate proof. Understand? They scored not the fact that Middleton just broke out and gave him the game that he needed to. He needed that. Milwaukee needed him to have this Eric Gordon-ish type performance. Middleton, remember, played on the USA team. People wonder what he was like trying to he's a consummate mid-range role guy. But last night, 7 for 10 from three-point land, 13 for 26 from the field, took 26 shots, hit half of them. 10 of those 26 were three-point attempts. He had 51 points. Hold on, don't stop there. 10 rebounds, 6 assists.
Jimmy, I got something for you. Doug just gave they 4-0 without the Greek Freak, and the wins about 10 points or more. But I got something else for you.
All four?
Yeah, as of now. 47 games into the season. The Bucks have the best point differential ever. And Giannis Antetokounmpo has the best PER in league history. Not sure how that translates to playoff success, but boy, Jimmy, these folks got the best in history. Come on, man.
Understand, you have to beat this team 4 times out of 7 games. Milwaukee doesn't have the market. They went through several coaches to get the right fit. Got rid of their point guard that was supposed to be the future.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Brought in Eric Bledsoe, whom we all remember how sometimes in rankings and the amateur level, how people say, hey, man, you missed on this one. You slept on this one. You got this one wrong. Everybody that ain't related to Eric Bledsoe or wasn't his college or his high school coach got that one wrong.
Well, how the hell we get it wrong? He went to Kentucky.
I'm talking about at the pro level, Hatter. In the pros. When he was with Phoenix, I'm not talking about him in high school at the amateur level. I said at the pros. We got that wrong. We did not think that Eric Bledsoe, you laughed at him. We all laughed at him at the Phoenix Sun. Remember, they were heavy trash. They were a joke. I mean, he was part of the joke. He couldn't, so we laughed at him.
He put up numbers, Jimmy.
No. He forced his way out of there.
Yes.
And then when he did that, we like, how the hell can you dare force your way somewhere?
But
You're
Jimmy,
part of the problem.
Jimmy, we can't overlook him. If you go to Kentucky, we can't never say.
Y'all, it's a lot of Kentucky guys that right now that come on, Hatter. A whole
No. I said when you go to Kentucky, what are your expectations? I see. I use your own words against you. What are your expectations when you go to Kentucky?
At the amateur level at Kentucky, and to probably put yourself in position to get
Jimmy,
drafted.
when you go to Kentucky, I thought you were going to be a pro.
They only play 7 out of 12. We went through this before. Kentucky only plays 7 guys. They only play 7. They got 12 on scholarship every year.
Jimmy,
so that means 5 scholarship players at Kentucky will ride the bench. I bet that's the sale gonna be from now on. People watching those box scores now. You see young fella Whitney, he gone.
Gone like a turkey through the cum.
He gone.
Where did he come from, Jimmy? Where did he come from? You remember him?
What school? I'm trying to think what school.
I'm talking about what city. You remember what city he's from?
I thought he's from Cali.
I don't know. He slipped by me.
I thought he's from Cali.
Jeremy Davis said Eric Bledsoe. Whether we say he was putting up numbers, but the team was getting trash.
Exactly. They were getting their heads beat in. But, and Phoenix, I'm talking about Bledsoe. And then for him to dare try to call his shot to get the hell up out of there, and they've sent his ass to Milwaukee. And guess what? Next thing you know, Brogdon was hurt. Remember at the time, they needed a guard. He started performing. They don't need Brogdon no more. They sent him over to Indiana.
Where your boy Delly? Where your boy Delly? Delly's still there, ain't he?
No. Man.
Yeah, he is.
No, you can't tell me
Delly's still there.
Let me look it.
Look it up.
No.
Dellavedova was still there, man.
No, last year he was there.
He there this year.
They pushed him on out. Now he's not. If he's
Jimmy still there, Jimmy. You better look.
Let's look at the roster. The Milwaukee Bucks roster. Let's see.
Belly Delly, I call him Belly Delly.
No, he's not there no more. They pushed him on out. I thought it was last year was his last year. Remember, Cleveland is the one who gave Delly $42 million.
Boy, that man can go back to Australia and do what that. Oh, can you imagine what he can do in Australia with that $42 million?
So what I'm gonna do?
Oh, Delly in Cleveland. I'm sorry, he in Cleveland. I know he's still on the team. Thank you, Doug.
Oh, they brought him back to Cleveland?
Yeah, I know he's still on the team.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna mount up for our special guests. And you're holding our special guests is coming to join us as promised, guys.
Okay.
We have a special treat for you guys on Women Rock Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And the coach from the program, the Cy-Fair Elite Girls Youth Basketball program, going to join us. This team, one of the teams, they have several from 17U on down, but their 14U team was in the Los Angeles area participating in the Mamba Cup this past weekend. And what we're going to do is we're going to hook you guys clean up with them. Hallelujah. Okay. I'm plugging them up. I'm getting down over here, man. You on the keys? You on the key? I got the 1s and 2s going on over here.
Let me see what you're working with.
We got hold tight. Watch this right here. You ready for this? You ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Now, without further ado, we have joining us right now from the Cy-Fair Nike Elite Girls Youth Basketball Program. We have one of the directors, one or possibly both, and who we have with us right now. Welcome to the Chop Shop.
Hey, how you doing? This is Todd Cooper, Coach Coop. I'm on. Earl is going to be jumping on here shortly.
Okay. So this is Coach Cooper, right?
Yeah, Coach Coop. Everyone on the circuit kind of knows me as Coach Coop.
And your program, the Cy-Fair Nike Elite Hoops Girls program, is based in Houston, right? But you have programs in other cities around Texas as well, right?
That is correct. We're based out of Houston, Texas, but we operate out of New Mexico, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and then all the metropolitan areas here in Texas.
And how long has the Cy-Fair Nike Elite been in existence?
Man, we're the oldest EYBL program, boys or girls. So Earl has had his relationship with Nike probably late '90s. I want to say, my mom wants to say '96 or '97 or so, but he'll jump on. He'll know specifically. But yeah, he had the longest running elite youth basketball league program in the nation.
And you joined them in what year, Coach Coop?
I came over 2017. I was with Pro Skills, and then and Earl approached me with a plan, or he approached me, he and a couple other directors, and I ran for them for about a year. So they kind of started approaching me in about 2016, but during that time I was running, I was researching him and getting an understanding of his program and what he had to offer. And so we sat down and he talked me through what he would like to do, and I talked him through some of the ideas that I had and the vision that I had. And here we are today.
And you are based in the DFW area, if I'm not mistaken, right? And Earl is in the Houston area, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
And Hatter, what you got?
And Coach Coop, this Robert Hatter, man. I just like to know how do I know that you're dealing with young women. How is it different coaching young women? I find that I never, I always coach, young men. How is it transitioning to coaching young ladies? That's got to be a daunting task because they have a whole lot of they have a whole lot of idiosyncrasies that a guy wouldn't have, and a young man wouldn't have. So explain to me your love and your respect for coaching young women.
I'll tell you, it's there are pros and cons. You're absolutely correct. The dynamics are different. The young boys, and I started off with my nephews, so I did start off on the boys' side. The boys, they tend to have more skill, obviously. But their attention to detail is not quite as strong as the young ladies. The young ladies seem to come with a higher purpose and a desire to want to understand the smaller things that matter. So I find it a little easier. I found it a little easier to explain the nuances of the game. And that may be because the young ladies are more acute to that, or more have a larger sense of purpose in that area, or it just could be maturity on my part and learning how to communicate with them. But you also to your other point, they have other idiosyncrasies that you have to kind of understand. I find it for myself, I find it strong or a positive thing to keep the mothers heavily involved in the process. I have women coaches that assist me because there's just some dynamics that young women go through, the up and down hormonal changes.
Yes.
They go through. You have to kind of get used to that and understand how to manage that, especially when you have the young players away from their homes and you're on the road and they're experiencing for the first time. Those and you're experiencing their changes for the first time.
Yes.
You have to kind of know how to manage that. That's a lot different than dealing with the young boys.
Wow. And
you started with your nephew on the boys' side, then made the transition over on the girls' side. What are some of the differences? You just gave us one main one in those girls. But what are some of the other differences that takes place that going through these what you're dealing with teenage girls, being a male, and you have a male coach on you yourself and Coach Allen Earl. But how many? First of all, what are some of the other major hurdles that you have to routinely jump over with the girls? And also, how many are there any of your teams that have any other ones that have male coaches?
Yeah, we the thing about the club scene, it is dominated by the male coach. Not really sure why that is. I'm not saying one is better or worse. It really just comes down to your knowledge for the game. But when you're it's really an operating plan is what you're putting together. You're trying to execute for each season. You're trying to execute an operating plan. And so if you're pretty good at that, then you're going to be pretty good at coaching you're going to be pretty good at managing the overall process. Then it comes down to your kind of your acumen for the game of basketball, and the differences I would say with the boys and the girls obviously is skill, the strength and the size of the young boys. That's different. And then with the girls, you know, you can draw up a lot of things that you can't draw up in a boys' game, where you know you're going to pretty much, if they execute like they're supposed to, you're going to have a high probability of success because the girls play under the rim. Whereas with the boys, you could draw up a perfectly executed play, and just the athleticism of young boys, they need to make that play great, or a defensive player can really wipe that play away just with their athleticism, being able to take the ball away, you know, in the air. So those are some of the big contrasting differences in the girls' game and the boys' game in terms of the boy and the girl, the genders.
And live with us, we have Coach Coop of the Cy-Fair Nike Elite Girls Grassroots Program. And this is the Cy-Fair. What's the official, the proper tag of your team, Coach? Cy-Fair.
I'm sorry. Cy-Fair Elite Sports. Our NGO, our nonprofit registration is Cy-Fair Elite Sports.
Okay. What they call you on, Coach? What they call you on the circuit? Cy-Fair Elite.
They call my team Cy-Fair Nike Coop.
Oh, yours? Okay.
It's our grassroots elite brand is the Nike Coop brand, and obviously Cy-Fair is the organization. So Cy-Fair Nike Coop is what they call my teams. So
both of the team from Dallas and the team from Houston were out in California, or just
yeah. So the way it works for us in our program, we'll take. There's obviously we have quite a few teams. We have a lot of teams, obviously.
Okay.
But we have an elite. We have an elite squad that we call our national traveling squad, and there's a lot of those. And so, but our elite squad travels under the Nike Coop for our what we call our Academy Grassroots program. Obviously, we're a Nike EYBL program, so our top elite players play on our EYBL teams. But for our middle school, our grassroots program, our elite team, national team is the Nike Coop team, and so our top players from wherever. They could be from Houston, from Dallas, or Austin, Mexico. They could be from anywhere, really.
Okay.
As long as they have what we're looking for in terms of the skill sets and the ability to play the way we draw it up. You know, you can come try out for us. And so answering your question directly, some of the players on my elite team, they do reside in Houston, and so our top team and players that went out for this particular tournament. Some were from Houston, mostly from Dallas right now.
Okay. And
then we have several players from Austin.
And speaking of girls basketball or youth basketball, how many Nike, you guys are on the EYBL, the girls, the GEYBL, the girls EYBL, right?
Correct.
And how many Nike sponsored programs are there in Texas?
There are 4 that I am officially aware of. There are only 32 official EYBL teams in the country. There are a handful of affiliate teams, and so there's a requirement, obviously, financial requirement, a competitive requirement through Nike to actually have the EYBL license, the official license. But there are only 32. There is a national tournament that's played every year, and 32 teams come together to play for the national championship on the Nike EYBL circuit. There are only 32 national teams, and then there's a handful of affiliate teams that are pending licenses that are desirous or next in line, so to speak, to be in the EYBL program.
So now on your team with the Cy-Fair Hoops, which team is in the actual among those 32 in the girls EYBL?
So the way that works is there's going to be one team that's the 17U team that's going to represent your program as an EYBL team, and then 16U there's going to be one top team that's going to represent your EYBL class, and so but we have a multitude of other teams that will make a national. They will travel nationally. So I'll give you an example. Our top EYBL team is a 17U team, but there's roughly 10 or 20 other teams that we have that will travel on that same national circuit. And so the way the EYBL actual official EYBL tournaments are set up is there are a couple of those tournaments around the country where only the EYBL classes are allowed to participate. So the tournament is just set up for the EYBL teams. But there are a host of other EYBL or national tournaments that we will go to, that our EYBL teams will go, and then all of our other teams that travel nationally, they'll participate in those tournaments as well.
Okay.
That's pretty much how a lot of the clubs across the country operate their EYBL programs.
Okay. I want to get to now, and Jimmy, if you want to talk some more, I just want to know about the experience that the young girls and what the young ladies, and how you cope with what happened over the weekend, and the lessons that were learned, and with the, one day I see we had a picture of your young girls taking a picture with Kobe, and I'm putting it up on the screen right there, and the next day they hear that he has met his demise. Man, I mean, walk us through it. We wasn't there. Walk us through. Tell us about the experience. I saw Jason Terry on his commentary, but I just want to hear from you, Coach Coop. Tell me the experience that your girls had to go with it, and the aura and the spirit around the whole facility when y'all heard the news.
Oh man, it was surreal. Just to give a little backdrop of the tournament.
Okay.
I met a couple of the Cali coaches in July of last year, and I bested them in the U.S. Open Championships. There's a big move that's happening on the youth circuit, on what we call the middle school circuit, where the NBA and USA Basketball have jumped in and kind of put an umbrella over the youth basketball at about the 14U age group. And so they started two platforms, the Junior NBA platform and the USA Basketball Open Championships. And so there was some very good contests. I thought the games were really well played. They were opposing styles. And so after we played, we won the championship, but they felt like, they didn't play their best. And so from there, we started talking about, okay, let's start getting the regions, playing together again. Because when I grew up, it was really about who had the better athletes, East Coast, West Coast, or the South. And actually, the South was represented by Texas, so it was Texas and Cali. And so through the fall, we were talking about how do we get the top teams together, the top middle school teams together and play. And so long story short, the 25th just fell to be the best date. Quincy, who actually handles the Mamba licensing, he owns the facilities that you see, the structures that you see that are Mamba representative. He actually owns those, and he operates the tournament. So he gave me a call in about October and advised me that he had been talking to a couple of the coaches and that we were interested in coming out. And I said, yes, if we can stage the best teams that you have on that coast, obviously my team being the number one team in the country over the last couple of years at our age group, we thought it would be a nice way to do two things, kind of help the girls game, and then also allow our kids in our region to experience and get exposure to their talent on that level. And we would use the Mamba series as a backdrop. They were not getting the participation numbers that they wanted to see during the fall. And so this would help boost that as well. And so, and it was just a brainchild of mine, because I just wanted to get my kids around the country to get as much exposure as they could as they were walking into their high school, years. And so long story short, we were able to get all the teams to sign up, the top EYBL teams on the West Coast, and had made the commitment. I had Quince call Jet Terry, because I knew he was putting together a nice little squad this year for Drive Nation. And so we all agreed to go, set it up, and we flew out. And so the way we set the schedule up was I would take Kobe first, Kobe's team first. So South Air and Mamba played the very first game in the 14U division because this was the central division. Uh-huh. And then we set the Sunday up where the top Jason Terry's team and our team would play those top 4 teams on the Sunday marquee. And so as advertised, the game with Kobe was a very exciting game. They pushed their style. We pushed our style, and we were fortunate enough to best in that day. Wow. But it was surreal. And I will say this about Kobe. He was a very genuine, very gracious. He came over before the game. He talked to us. He talked to the players. I mean, he was just normal dude. He wasn't Kobe. He was dad coach, coaching his team and his girls. And so after the game, he had an appreciation for the way we played because we have a lot of skill, but we also are very athletic, obviously, Texas kids. But we play with great organization, great structure, and we do it for 94 feet. And so he was very impressed with the way we played and the vision, Quincy, of what we wanted to desire, what our desire was to grow this. He was very interested in having that conversation. And so that's kind of the backdrop of how we set this up. And so we were scheduled to continue some conversations. We had some conversations, a couple of meetings on Saturday, but we were going to continue those conversations after the tournament on Sunday and kind of walk through a couple of ideas that we had in how to maximize on this opportunity. And Kobe, he was really, I mean, you really saw firsthand his passion and his love for helping to grow this platform, the girls' side of basketball, not just the play, but the training, the funding, the exposure. It was all something that when we were aligning, and it was a more synchronized field just right off the bat. And so for us, the coaches and the staff, the guys that were there that set this up, we were all eager and anticipating, the games on Sunday, and then obviously the conversation later. And so I went first Sunday morning, and I played their top team out there. And then, so that was a very, very exciting game. And so next up was going to be Jet Terry's team against Kobe's team. And it was opportunity to play Kobe's team. And so we were sitting waiting for that game to start. And Kobe hadn't made it to the gym yet. And then TMZ started, the parents started, the word started going around the gym that TMZ was reporting that his helicopter had crashed. And this was really probably about 2 hours before any other major outlet had produced any information on what had occurred. So obviously none of us was really wanting to believe it, not to say that TMZ wasn't accurate, but just that the other major outlets were not producing anything. So it took probably about another 60 minutes or so as the word started moving around the gym. And then John, who is the assistant coach for Kobe, or he assists with assisting the team, he started walking toward me. I caught his eye and I started walking toward him. And you can obviously see he's a big guy, 6'9" or so. And so when we met each other there in the court, he had that look on his face, and I asked him, was he true? And that's when he confirmed it was true. And I turned, and JT was behind me. J. Terry was behind me, and we started walking to all the other courts to just stop the games and get with the refs and stop the games. And we moved all the kids over to one court, and we just started having prayer visuals at that time. And then Quincy finally came down. I caught his eye as he was coming down the stairs from upstairs, and I walked over to him, and that's when he confirmed for me that yes, it was true, and that G was on the plane with him, and 2 other players were on the plane with him, on the helicopter with him, and then probably obviously about an hour later, it started coming through the major outlets. And so it was just, it's the feeling everyone had. When you first heard it, you thought it was a prank. You was hoping it was a prank. And then even when we were notified, when I was notified that it was real, I still just wanted it to be untrue. It was COVID.
Wow.
And we just tuned to the Chop Shop. We're reflecting the accounts that led up until happened on Sunday morning. at the Mamba Academy. This is Coach Coop with the Nike Sapphire Nike Elite program. This particular one is in Dallas, and they also have the parent company team is based out of Houston. This program normally fields some of the top girls from the state of Texas and beyond. And we're talking about Sunday morning. You guys would, this is so in the tournament. Coach Coop, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
In the tournament, you want to take back. So you played on Saturday, and
beat Kobe.
Look at you, man. You wrong for that.
He beat the team. He beat them.
But he understands. He said you beat Kobe them. I say he wrong. He wrong for that. Yeah. This girls team, your 14U, which is your class of 2024, has you proclaimed and described them as being number one in the country. What can you tell us? What in the previous years, what have the team done to so that the listeners and the viewers will understand that you wasn't just throwing the tag out there that we're the best. What is this team? Tell us the resume of this team over the past.
Yeah, I can do it. And obviously, it's I probably should have said arguably, because again, this is one of the reasons why we set this particular tournament up, and why we were going to try to expand what we were doing with this tournament. But I've taken my girls everywhere. I've played in New Jersey. I played in Florida. I played in South Carolina. I played in Indiana. I played in Chicago. I played in Atlanta. I played the AAU circuit. I played the Navy National circuit. I played the Primetime circuit. I played the U.S. Open circuit. I've sought out over the last 2.5 years every major circuit that the basketball community says is the circuit that you need to play in order to compete against the best. And we won every one of them. And we're 2-time defending champs on all of those circuits. I'm running right now. And so I don't know of any other 14U team in the country that can proclaim that. They may have won some regional tournament. They may have multiple consecutive victories in the local region. I've been all over the map with this team, and to the point that was made just a moment ago. And with all due respect, I'm a Laker fan, so I'm a big Kobe fan. Been a Laker fan since '77, and this was a horrific, tragic event. But I was up 30 on Kobe's team, and started playing my bench, and ended up winning the game by 21. And he has a highly talented team, one of the best teams out on the West Coast. I played the Sunday game against Cal Sparks, which was touted as the top team out on the West Coast, and obviously, I sought them out to play them, and sought them out to try to set this relationship up, so that we could and we can continue to find the best talent and keep the best talent in the gym playing each other as much as possible, as often as possible, because ultimately what our desire is and should be is to continue to develop the best product that we can develop, not just skillful individual based kids, but collective teams of processes collective processes of teams that play team ball, space, ball movement, player movement, can shoot it, left hand, right hand, that can get to the goal, that understand how to score, when to score, understand how to pass, when to pass, and understand, more importantly, how to play as a talented kid alongside other talented kids. And I think right now with this group, I think we're doing a great job of mastering that, getting better at mastering that, and hopefully we can continue to move down that path. But that's the reason why we say arguably the best unit in the country, because we've been everywhere and played and won.
Did your 14U team beat the Cali Sparks?
Yes.
Okay.
We were able to get games in before we halted. We were able to get 4 games in before we halted the tournament. But yeah, we were 4-0 at the time.
When the last time your team has lost? Who the last opponent you lost to? Because I'm quite sure they I want to know that way we keep our ears out for that team. They probably claiming, some superiority over you guys.
I don't know if they are. I got them by 20, and then had to turn around and play them again. It's the Maryland Bells, and then they're a quality team, high quality team. I got them by 20, and then the next day we played again. The way the brackets fell out, and they got me in overtime. But it was a good game. They're a quality team, and that happened. That was July of last year, and before then, this team has been together for 2.5 years. We've averaged 134 games a club season. We play a lot, and we only have 3 losses in the 2.5 years.
Hey, Coach, I can't wait to see y'all this summer. Make sure I get that schedule. This summer, I can't wait to see y'all, Doc.
Hey, we play fast. We're long. We're long. I'm Justice Carlton. I kind of center my process around her. She's one of those kids. She's there in Houston. She's a Houston product. Mm-hmm. But she's what I think is going to be a very dominant player on the girls' scene.
What's their name? Give me that name again. Justice?
It's having something that you
say
have
the name
to deal
again, with. Coach Coop. Excuse me. The name of that young lady again on your 14U team?
Justice Carlton.
Justice Carlton. Okay. Gotcha. I'm writing her name down. I don't write too many names down, Coach.
Oh yeah, she's a special kid. She's a special talent. I mean, she is a very hard kid to guard. Her dad is 6'8". Her mom is 6'5". She's already probably about 6'1". She has good size on her, but I think the unique thing about her is that she spent the first 9 years of her life, of her athletic life, playing soccer.
Oh,
she's only been playing basketball for 2.5 years.
Good feet, though, Coach.
And but her hand-eye coordination is ridiculous. Her ability to play on the perimeter, as well as any perimeter player, is solid. But what makes her different is she was born under the basket. Since we put her in the gym, we started her there under the basket. And the funny thing about it is, as Kobe and I were talking on the court, and he was asking me about Justice, because Kobe obviously loves to do his homework. He knew a little bit about us, and knew some of the victories that we had achieved, and was impressed by that. But he was really impressed by Justice, because Justice, she's a very strong kid, but she has great footwork. I was teasing I was teasing him because it's the Kobe package. It's the Kobe 6-step package, 6-shot package that I started teaching Justice early on. Her dad works with her relentlessly on the 6-step package. And so she started there. And we've been gradually moving her away from the basket because she has a great shot. She has a great 3-point shot. She has a great mid-range shot. And we spend a lot of time teaching her, balance, defensive balance, unbalance, how to take the shoulder, how to pin the kid, how to power drop step the kid, how to show kid ball, release with both hands, left hand, right hand, over the top, wrist open, wrist closed. So we spend a lot of time with her in that area. And she's a very hard guard. And we dictate terms in a lot of ways on the basketball court, by simply having her go and establish herself, and then make adjustments off of that. And then I run, 4 guards around her. And we're very hard to guard because everyone can shoot it. Everyone can shoot it. Everyone can get to the basket, and everyone has a high IQ on when to drive, when to pass, when to shoot. But everyone that knows us and has played us, they know that our signature is we play defense. We play 94 feet of defense, and you have to have 5 that can play on the court at all times.
And so now, Coach, in regards to the Cy-Fair Nike Elite Grassroots women's program, can tell us, go through some of the, I know you just joined the program in 2017, but you were very familiar with Coach Earl Allen and his program prior to joining them. And we wish Earl would have joined us in this convo, because I want you probably can help as best as you could. Give us some of the distinguished alumni of the Cy-Fair Elite or Nike Elite girls program.
Man, he definitely can help you there. He knows all his kids. The two Stanford twins are probably, for me, the best way to say it is probably not a dominant program in the country right now that doesn't have a Cy-Fair kid on the roster. But I think the two things that come to mind to me are the two Stanford kids. That one's still playing in the. I think they're both still playing in the WNBA. One is the anchor on ESPN. Yeah. They are out of the Houston area. Yeah. We have a multitude of kids out of the Houston area that go on to sign D1 letters and end up in the WNBA. But yeah, that is a question that if Earl and unfortunately Earl's mother, he had to rush her to the hospital. She had some medical issues that he needed to take care of with her. But yeah, he knows all his kids and that's a better question for him. But I can tell you this, over his couple of decades run, obviously being one of the oldest EYBL programs in the country, he has put the most kids on the McDonald's All-American team. He broke the record I think it was 17. I want to say it was 16 or 17 where he placed 4 kids from the program on the McDonald's All-American team. Most kids in D1 schools, most kids in D2 schools. Over the years, in terms of all the other EYBL teams, because that's how our stats are maintained, and so that's all public record. That's something that you can get with Nike and you can confirm. But yeah, he's the longest running EYBL program, and he has placed the most kids in college and the most kids on the McDonald's All-American team, the most kids on the U.S. basketball team, and right now, currently, he has his 2023, 24, 25, 26 teams are ranked in the top 5 in the national NYA rankings. His 2023 class competed at the Junior NBA Global Championships last year. So the program's been strong for a long time, and it's growing stronger now because our grassroots is very competitive nationally.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, we got another question. It was a while back. Jeremy, he wanted to know, do you have a feeder thing that goes into your program, because his daughter is 10 and our younger team, so be able to have put his daughter in the program.
Okay, the first part of the question, if you could, I missed the first part of the question.
Do it, Jimmy, because it's closer to you. A feeder program.
What's the youngest teams which Cy-Fair Elite program? What age do you guys start at?
Yeah, I know in Dallas we have third grade. I know, and I know in most of the markets, third grade is where we normally start. We have a third grade team here in the Dallas market, so I know we go as low as young as third grade.
Okay.
And so we hope one of the viewers asked that question. You guys feel free in the Boom Boom Room. You had questions for Coach Coop and all related to youth girls grassroots basketball. Feel free to post your question, and we'll try our best to share them with Coach. Also, Coach, on the girls' side of the fence, man, you guys are so successful, and of course, you mentioned earlier that Jason Terry and his program was actually scheduled to play against Kobe's team, the Mamba team, that morning. And back on the timeline, were you guys scheduled to play like back to back, or was a game in between your games?
Yeah, there was a game in between. So the way the Sunday marquee was set up is I went out about I want to say 10 o'clock. I'm not sure. It may have been 12. And then Jet Terry's team was set to play after me. But there was a game. To your point, there was a game in between my game and Jet Terry's game with Kobe's team. And then I was going to directly follow that game and play Cali Storm. And then and Jet had played Cali Storm the night before. He closed the gym out. I opened the gym with the Mamba team, and Jet closed the night with the Storm team. And then that following day, that Sunday, I opened with Kobe's team. I opened with the Sparks, Cali Sparks. Jet was set to play the Mamba team, and and then I was going to play the Storm team, and then Jeff was going to close with the Sparks team.
And so you didn't get to play but one game on that Sunday then?
Yes, I played once. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
He's lucky he played the early game. But Jimmy, I do want to find out, and you can relay this to him. What's the contact for his team, and what's the contact? How to do their website, or how do people contact the team in Dallas, and how do people contact the team here in Houston?
You can go to the website.
Okay.
The website is global. So the Software Elite Sports, I want to say SoftwareEliteSports.com is the website. I wish I had my headphones on. I can look it up.
No, that's all right.
But you can contact us through the website, and you will be able to contact any one of our markets.
There you go.
Or you'll be able to contact our administrators, and they'll get you to the market.
Gotcha. I hope that helped, Jonathan and RT. And then RT Chapman asked a question: what age group did you coach when you were with Pro Skills?
When I was at Pro Skills, it was a 2024 class. I was coaching the 2024 class over at Pro Skills.
Okay. All right. That's what he wanted. Well,
and mind you, it was inaugural. The Pro Skills group had just started on the girls' side. You know, obviously they're very the Texas community is pretty familiar with the boys' side. Jeff Webster does a great job.
Oh yes,
was just now launching the girls' platform when we went over. It really wasn't a went over. I had a daughter that was getting ready to start playing club ball, and I was directed to Jeff Webster his program, and they were starting it up. And so when I was there, it was the inaugural season for the girls.
And just want to remind you guys, speaking, I found the website and indeed, SciFairEliteBasketball.com, SciFairEliteBasketball.com. And ironically, they have a tournament coming up February the 15th and 16th in the Houston area called, guess the name of it called? Love and Basketball.
Yeah, Jimmy, that's Valentine's Day weekend.
Love and Basketball.
Love and Basketball. That's good.
And guess where it's going to be held at? And Sandra just gave me the plug at C.E. King High School. At the middle school.
Okay.
C.E. King. So it'll be that tournament, of course, on the website. And one thing I do commend you guys, because I often go to a lot of sites, and once I visit certain websites, it's a sign of a stern warning for me never to come back. But this website is easy on the eyes, and it's very easy to navigate through. So great job on your Sci-Fair Elite girls basketball website. Indeed, I'm serious when I say that. I've seen numerous websites. You guys definitely are kicking butt, and I've heard, you know, people along the Nike rims of the Nike grassroots family in Portland has bragged on the program in years past. So I long knew of the program from a distance, and even back when the Iwugnake sisters were playing for you guys, and I knew about them then, but I never, you know, I've been primarily on the boys' side, and they are playing on simultaneous weekends throughout the summer. And I heard, you know, so I want to give you guys, and also Tony Dorado, has also spoke highly of this program, you know, because he really loves the girls part of grassroots more so than the boys. It seems like, as well. But that's the website, guys. We got a couple other questions and for you. And how do you pull them up? You see them. If anybody, we've got to most of the questions. But any other thing, I want to get something to you, get some info from you, Coach. And that is in the summer ball circuit. What would you, outside of the EYBL, what are your top 3 tournaments that as far as competition wise? Give us on the girls' side. What are the top 3 tournaments out there?
Well, it really depends on what we're talking about. Like my elite team they'll be on the high school circuit. So they'll travel. When we were talking earlier about the national schedule and our EYBL team's national schedule, my girls will travel with the EYBL team. So their top tournaments will be the typical top tournaments for Nike. It's the Boo Williams Classic out in Virginia, the Nike Nationals in Chicago. We travel with Mike Flynn and the Blue Stars. So we go play the USJN, which is the United States National Junior Nationals tournament out in Washington D.C. Nike added an event this year in Portland, Oregon. They want to have an event there at their home site. So this year we'll travel to Portland, Oregon for that Nike event. So there's 5 top events that Nike schedules for us that we go to every year on the high school circuit. On the academy circuit, the grassroots circuit, what I would say is, because they're all independent. It really just depends on locally what your funding is, what your fundraising program is. Because mind you, on the girls' side, it is 100% funded by the parent. It is not like the boys where they'll take the top teams and they'll find a way. However they do it, they'll find a way to get those boys where they need to go. Well, we are fighting for that on the girls' side, but it is currently and has always been 100% funded by the girls. And so in our program, we have a very strong fundraising process. We are an officially registered 501c program, nonprofit program, and so because of that, we're able to engage partners, corporate partners that assist us, and we do a lot of fundraising, corporate fundraising events to help us pay for some of the places that we go. And I say that because it depends on, what that local team can afford to do. There are good tournaments here in the Texas area. There's the Primetime Nationals, which is held in Dallas, and that is a national registered tournament. They're building one up in San Antonio that happens later in the summer. It's starting to get a strong regional pool. There is obviously AAU. AAU's been around forever, and they kind of move the tournament around the country, but it primarily stays in the Midwest, the central region of the country, depending on your classification. So sixth grade may play in Tennessee, in Knoxville. Seventh grade may play in what place would I say? What was it last year? Knoxville, Nashville, and there's one other place, but they stayed there in that central region of the map. And USA Basketball now has started a platform, and they're in cahoots, or they're joined with Junior NBA or the NBA to create the Junior NBA platform. But the USA Basketball now has a national tournament. It's called the Open Championship. They host that in Westfield, Indiana. And then there's the Navy. The Navy's been around for a long time as well. It's the Mid-Atlantic or the Mid-American Youth Basketball Circuit. And they run a lot of tournaments in the Midwest. They're starting to get into Texas. But they have a national tournament. And usually, I say national tournament, usually the national tournaments, they'll have 800 teams or plus. There's been a couple of years in the last couple of years because of the pickup in interest of girls basketball. There's been 1,200 teams at the tournament. And they run the girls tournament separate of the boys tournament. So Navy runs their boys tournament out of Kansas. They operate out of Kansas, but they host the girls tournament in Oklahoma City, Norman area.
And so you mentioned earlier that you want to clarify the girls EYBL team of the Cy-Fair, of all of the 32 teams that are sponsored, all of them receive no, did you say that they receive no financial assistance in the form of sponsorship from Nike? Now the boys side do, but I want to make sure the girls side, do you or do you not receive any funding from Nike?
No, there is no funding. I mean, you'll receive, obviously we'll get discounted costing on uniforms, but there is no, on the girls' side, Nike is not cutting us checks to fly the kids anywhere, bus the kids anywhere. We have to manage and operate as a small business. We have to find ways to generate that revenue ourselves. Most of it for most organizations comes from parents paying what we call club dues, club fees.
Right.
If you have a mature operating process, then you're going to have a fundraising arm that is going to assist and aid the parents in covering the cost to get the kids around. And so again, it really just depends on what market you're in, what club you're affiliated with, and then how the directors in those areas are processing the basketball in those areas.
And RT has a question. How is the wear and tear on the girls with the active schedule? And are there significant signs of girls being burnt out? If so, how do they handle that?
Not with my team, but you do see it. You are starting to see it. We're having a lot of meetings here lately, over the last year or so, where we're getting together and we're kind of discussing, the increase in ACL tears, MCL tears. What are we doing to kind of prevent that? Is it the play schedule? Because mind you, when we were younger, we played every day. It just wasn't as organized as it is today, but we went to the park and played basketball every day. We didn't have, all the things that young people have today in terms of the specialized training, which obviously you would think I won't say obviously, but you would think that it would kind of help, but that's not the case. The girls are getting, especially the girls, we're seeing more of those tears. I can tell you how we handled it. When I first started the girls, and we started developing them, we used weekend gameplay as practice because I have such a spread out team. My team is spread out across the metropolitan area, but I also have kids on my roster from Oklahoma, from Austin, from Houston, from San Antonio. And so we would just play on the weekends. We would meet up and play on the weekends, and I would use the games as practice. And so it kind of helped me in a couple of different ways. And so that's what I did. And that's one of the reasons why we played so many games. We're really we were in our practicing. We were using games to play. It depends. I can tell you how we process here in the Dallas market. My girls, we have what we call basketball practice on Thursdays, and there are concepts. We spend a lot of time in small-sided play, in a lot of time in skills. Shooting is very important to us. Ball handling is very important to us, ball security. And so that's what our Thursdays are. Our Saturdays is all strength and conditioning. But we, up until this year, the first year and a half, 2 years, they didn't lift weights. It was all bungee cords, balancing balls. It was getting them familiar with managing their own body weight, teaching them how to jump, how to land, teaching them how to run, how to squat, how to slide. And I employed rehabilitation trainers, certified rehabilitation trainers who spend all of their time working with kids recovering. I use those trainers to assist me in actually training these girls to prevent injuries. And then on Sundays, that's when we actually play basketball. There's a lot of small-sided activities, teaching them the game. I think the small-sided way is the best way to teach a kid how to play because you have to learn spacing, pick and roll. You have to learn how to feel your teammate and understand, when and how to handle yourself on the court in action. So we spend a lot of time in 2v2s, 3v3s, 2v versus 3, 4 versus 2, and just a lot of little odd rules that we'll have in the game to limit certain things to allow the girls to kind of advance their acumen in the game. So that's how we do it. We have them on that level. During middle school, we just work out now. We didn't play this fall. I let the girls from August, the end of the club season, through November, the girls just go be students. Go play middle school basketball, go play volleyball, go try the trumpet, go find some other interests and just get away from the game. Because I think mentally as well, there needs to be a buffer and a release as well as much as physical. So that's how we handle it here in our market.
Well, There you have it, Coach, and that's Coach Coop with the Nike Sci-Fair Elite Girls Grassroots Program. We definitely thank you, Coach, for extending us with your time on the day, and great that you guys and the rest of the team made it back safely from your trip to Los Angeles this past weekend. We definitely let the rest of the program know that we are now fans, avid fans of the Sci-Fair Elite. You know, one thing about me, Coach, I'm gonna rock with the champ. So you guys definitely it seems like you're the champs, and we're gonna get with you. We appreciate it. Thanks so much,
Coach.
And we hope to get to converse with Coach Allen real soon as well. Thanks. All right.
I appreciate you guys having us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
And it's a bunch, and that is, guys, Coach Coop with this Nike Sci-Fair Elite team. Team is based in Houston, but his team is out of Dallas. They were in California this past weekend for the Mamba Cup. Went undefeated in the games they played. They basically played showcase games, and one of the first games they played was against the Mamba team, Kobe Bryant's team program, which the Texas team won by 21 points, according to Coach Coop. But now let's get ready to move and slide on over and talk. We got a couple more time. We got the mailbag coming up.
Yeah.
And we got a couple of you guys out there. Coach Kevin Freeman.
Something wrong with Kevin Freeman. Something wrong with him. He needs Jesus. Yeah. Something wrong with him.
Yeah. Shout out. I see Kim Corville on the Chop Shop.
Yeah, where you been?
Women Rock Wednesday. Alex Pugh out there. Alex Pugh and the MacArthur Generals took one upside the head last night, and they lost. And
you're going to lay off Pugh team, man.
No, I mean, it's not Pugh, not the head coach. Pugh's assistant coach. Okay. But the MacArthur Generals in district play, they're 0-8 right now.
Jimmy, why you had to bring that up, man?
I thought Pugh had assured me that they would win at least one.
He did not. No, he did not. Because he's an assistant coach. He can't implement the Pugh plan.
Yeah. Speaking of last place, normally we would get the Chop Shop graced with the presence of Coach Fall over at Mayde Creek.
Why you on Fall? What? Why?
Well, Mayde Creek lost to Katy last night. Yeah. They lost to Katy. I didn't say Katy Tompkins. I didn't say Katy Martin Ranch. I didn't say Katy Cinco Ranch. Katy said, they lost to Katy.
The football team, Katy.
Yes. And with that loss.
I'm going to put my head on my desk like we do at school.
No, you got to hear this. With that loss, Mayde Creek is in last place in that district right now.
No.
Last place.
Not Bob Riley, Pat Riley's nephew.
So, and Coach Fall,
you ain't going to talk about my boys.
We need Coach Fall to come to the front of the congregation and speak to the pew right now.
I got my head stopped up. I don't want to hear about them. My dudes, man. I don't want to hear about they. No.
You know what? I'm going to show you why it's such a surprise. Because at the beginning of the season, I posted projections of a lot of the teams in Houston on where they would fare in their respective district. Well, as for Mayde Creek, guys, in the magazine.
Let me get my magazine. Hold on.
I understand. I can be influenced when I give a person enough of my ear. We all can. And I was led to believe this. So it means if you hear certain things and you see something and it really ain't, you're really not evaluating with your mind. You're just trying to see to justify some of the things that you heard. So I saw Mayde Creek play in the Super 16. I saw some things and I said, well, you know what? Let me write this magazine preview. And I had picked them to come in second place behind Martin Ranch. Did,
You did what?
however, I am going to say there's still a few games left in the district for Coach Favre.
To get out that basement.
I had picked Katy to come in last. Right now, Katy is tied for second place.
What?
And Maid Creek is tied for last place. Everything else in that district, I pretty much got it in point. But those two teams, now once again, Katy could still come in last. Maid Creek could still come in second. But right now, it don't look good. And so that's in greater use high school basketball. You guys can get.
I wish you hadn't told me that, man. Jimmy, this the kind of news, man. Put that news. Do me a favor. Put that news on your website, man.
And
I don't want to hear that, man.
And of course, you guys, the website rcssports.com, and understand the news that I just gave you guys.
It's on the website.
I gave no evaluations or opinions of either one of the teams.
You just gave the record.
I just gave you facts and their records and what they are.
Okay. Say no more.
And the thing is, you know why? Because if those two teams were in first place right now, and I speak to those guys on the regular, what would you think they would be asking me to
Yeah. Okay.
They would be mad if I didn't mention them.
Okay.
So I'm getting it out the way. That way now, whenever they do have some success,
okay,
I'm gonna put plenty of air in the tire.
Okay.
Because I was the one that went out on the platform and let y'all know that right now, if anyone y'all got a grape, give me a grape and a shoe, or a grape and a hammer, and I'll show you. I can, but anyway, man, shout out to those guys.
Hey, Jimmy, do they have load management?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm trying to give a dude's excuse, man. Load management. We must have load management or something. Something going on over there. Bob was rolling at first, though, man.
He was. Bob had beat Eisenhower.
They did a video and everything.
The team, was rolling. But you know what though? It just goes to show how tough that district is, though.
Okay.
That district is 19-6A. Martin Ranch is undefeated. They're 3 games ahead of first. So Martin Ranch is one win from clinching their district. They're 1 win from pretty much clinching at least a share of first place.
Hey, that young fella, LJ Cry, ain't playing.
So I got a question for you, Al. You spoke of load management. If Martin Ranch wins this Friday and clinches a share of first place, or they win the next Tuesday,
we don't do that in high school.
You clinch it outright.
We don't do that in high school.
No, so don't rest LJ Cry.
For what?
For the playoffs.
Jim.
You don't rest
I've
him.
learned from Kobe, I am not taking nothing for granted. I'm playing because the playoffs ain't promised to me. I'm playing. That's just me. I don't know about you other coaches. Me, I'm playing. I don't care if I'm clinched. I'm just not. No. Time, no. I can't wait till tomorrow. I want to share something with y'all. But no, I wouldn't do it, Jimmy. I wouldn't.
No, so you're saying don't rest LJ Cry 45 or 46 points last night.
On 16 shots.
Well, I looked at it again. It was actually 22 shots.
Oh, it's 22
16,
shots.
16 2-point field goals, 6 3-point field goals.
Okay.
So 45 or 46?
45.
45 points LJ Cry last night on 22 shots in a win over Seven Lakes. And speaking of district, put it like this. Second place is 4-3. That's Katy Tompkins and Katy. Third place is there's a glut tie for third, and that's Cinco Ranch. I'm sorry, Cinco Ranch is in third place. Fourth place, that is. It's a 2-way tie for second. They're 3 and 4. Right? In fifth place is the tie between Seven Lakes and Maid Creek. And I mentioned they was in last, but technically Katy Taylor, 2 and 4, is holding up the rear in that district. Katy Taylor. And but everybody's in that team obviously is beating up on everybody, and there's no easy game for none of those teams if it is not named Martin Ranch in District 19-6A. But the good thing about it is going to go down to the wire, and you see teams. There's been a shift in balance because you see this team Katy. Remember last year, you know, their leading scorer from 2 years ago had transferred to Martin Ranch. Remember?
Who was that?
One of the kid who led Katy in scoring 2 years ago had played for Martin Ranch.
I don't know him. Who is he? I don't know him.
I think he was number 0. I can't think his name. I can't think his name. Doug's on there. He can plug the name, but I remember the player. He played for Martin Ranch and was it was a regular role player with Martin Ranch, but he was the red ant for Katy. Okay. And you know, once again, every given night.
Is he still playing now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Graduated last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so anyway, what else we have?
You got 10 minutes. What else
from last night, high school basketball last night. Once again, rcssports.com is the website. You guys can go and get your fix. We have the district standings will be updated this evening with reflecting yesterday's results. Also, we have the games to see on there, the VIP news, which was updated today. And also Doug, I think, is posted out. I think Doug posted the college.
Yeah. It ain't really changed that much, Jimmy. That's why.
The college?
Yeah.
The player?
Yeah, them guys, it's about the same. Ain't no drastic changes.
I need to take a look at that right now. Speaking of which, these were the freshmen that are in college right now, and what they're doing as of past week. And you're pretty much right. It's all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Same guys who was up there. Now, what I can do is tell you the guys, the 5 key players that are freshmen that are playing the most minutes at their respective colleges. And I give those to you guys. Jordan Adams is playing 31.9 minutes a game at Austin Peay. He went to Silsbee. He's also averaging 17.5 points a game. Anderson Kopp from St. Thomas High School. He's at Lamar. He's averaging 30 minutes a game as a true freshman. Also, we go look at Montavious Murphy at Kansas State. He's playing 25.4 minutes per game. Xavier Wheeler at Georgia is playing 25.4 minutes per game. And rounding out as number 5, KJ Cunningham from Rudder High School is at Weber State playing 24 minutes a game. And once again, guys, we can't say enough about picking the program that's best suited for you. If minutes per game is a priority. If minutes per game is not a priority, then guess what? Then you go and you seek out whatever floats your boat. I was having a conversation yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you how hypocritical so many people are in the realms of recruiting. Here's what I mean. Parents, tell me the last time that you can think of that a player, remember now, that went to a school and said and cited academics or the condition of the academics at the school, at the college, was a deciding factor. Don't you think of that last time? That happens a lot, right? A whole lot. We hear kids say, "Well, man, they have the best law school. They have the best, health department. Have the best medical school. Whatever. We are the best. They're one of the best academic programs in the country." Now, how many of those players transfer because of academic? Remember that best law school? How many of them leave because of that? That's one of the reasons they're going there. So that means that ain't the real reason for a lot of these kids picking these schools. I say a lot of them. You let they butt start not playing and watch what have to come into equation. They're going to leave. They're going to leave. And then, so that means it sounds good because that's what society, it begs for that. It's politically correct. And we're emerging into territory where politically correct is, I'm not sure if politically correct is being correct anymore. So pay attention. Pay attention to what you're saying and what you really want. And in regards to
so you say you ain't never heard nobody transfer for academic reasons?
Well, I mean that's going for scholars that signed a letter of intent. I'm talking about scholarship players, not walk-ons.
Okay.
The scholarship players, when they go in, when they're getting ready to sign, they was insert all the parents. Or when or right now, if you take some 9th grader or some 10th grader who's an expiring Division I hopeful, they will go and use academic. We're looking for a good school. We don't go to Stanford. We don't go to, if you ain't playing, know what you ready to do? You ready to get the hell up out of Stanford. So just be, it's okay, not piling on, but I'm just pointing out the fact in how we say stuff and do other things. And so we also on tomorrow, we will go and go deep into the mailbag. There's been a few conversations and a few questions that's been presented to me, and some public and some anonymous, and I'll get to them.
Jimmy, make sure you don't tell the anonymous. Make sure you keep them anonymous, man.
Well, I don't make the same mistake the same way, and that's that's it on that. And so I'm looking at any other questions. Doug say Jordan Adams is 4th in the country among freshmen in scoring. And of course, Bobby Benjamin notes us that last night Jordan Ivy Curry,
yes, sir,
at Mark High School,
yes, sir,
produced 57 points
in a
win last night. And Lamarck, they're sitting alone in first place because Brazosport, who was in second, got upset last night in that district. They will play each other on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But Jordan Ivy Curry, a young man who recently attained his academic eligibility qualification, and he's deemed a projected to be a qualifier. So that's good news for Division I schools. All you have to do is now is just sit back in the cut and wait. Wait on every team that comes to Houston that loses a basketball game. I'm talking about a college team. Once again, every college team that comes to Houston that loses a basketball game and the guards can be deemed as a contributing factor, those are the programs that you should reach out to, because they came into this city. They have to come back again as members of the American Conference. Also, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, who's not normally known as a high school conference, meaning high school to college. It normally is a transfer conference, dominated conference for the top tier teams. For those who want to be, I remember somebody mentioned that Lindsey Hunter and somebody else going to go and get, or Alabama A&M was going to go and get high school players. I think Anthony Weston told us that, Adam. And guess what? Guess what place Alabama A&M in right now? You go get them young boys you want to. You playing against 22, 23-year-olds. So that's pretty much, as in a nutshell, guys. It's looking at the clock now. It's definitely time to land the plane. And I see Bobby Benjamin taking notes right now. And
hey, I want to show y'all some why Jimmy been late the last couple of.
Over the years, Welcome to the all-new 2019
taking this little time. But Jimmy, I wanted to share before we got off the air. I wanted to share a couple of things. You know what? I want to share some with Coach. Yeah, Jimmy, we can end on that. Jimmy, I just wanted, now you know what she going through. I celebrated their life. He really loved his wife. He made mistakes, but he really loved his wife. And I just wanted to share that with everybody because that's a video that I've never seen, and somebody sent it to me. So, but Jimmy, you can take us on home for that.
Yeah, man. Well, definitely appreciate that, man. And they tear me up on
I know they talk about the dog.
On Sandra's puppy. Remember now, guys. Understand the puppy is only 8 weeks old. The puppy has to get his second round of shots.
What that got to do with that?
So that means you can't take it outside without risking.
Oh, illness. Yeah.
So that's the conventional ways you feed the dog. I'm just learned that you can't just feed the dog and put them outside. Because you risk until they get their next round of shots.
Not that little baby. That baby needs to stay inside anyway. Quit trying to put that dog outside.
And they got to understand, be advised, guys. My outside ain't the same as probably your outside. Ain't no sidewalks in my hood. It's ditches.
Hey,
I got hood dogs. I got dogs with patches over their eyes running around here. I can't send that puppy out there.
I don't blame you. No, you did good.
I got crack dogs out here, man.
But you said how many? How old the dog? How old the dog is?
8 weeks.
8 weeks, and it had the wherewithal to find the weakness in that fortress and went straight for that weakness and got out. Man, let me tell you something. Hey, that dog, y'all got y'all something, that boy. Y'all better close the door on the dog at night. Don't let him come in the bedroom. He'll be watching. Huh?
Understand, that thing had just came in the mail. Sandra ordered it from Amazon.
Yes.
It had just came in the mail. She busted open last night, right? And put it up this morning. She figured while after the dog got fed, she would place him in that cage while she go and get ready. Because remember, that's her commitment. My job, I'm going to go and make the smoothies for you to go to work with. So now, that dog broke out of that thing about 5 times before that. I put that little red box up there. He went over the top. So he's a smart young fella. That we do know. So, you know what? We'll get him right. So you guys know what I'm about to do. It's that time of day. I'm about to go check on him in a few. I'm going to get my newspaper ready right now.
Hey, you're a sadist. You're a sadist. You look at he happy to beat the dog.
I'm gonna read the paper to him.
Well, I got to get out there. I might come your way, so I'm gonna call you because I got something for you that a couple of gifts for you. You ain't got. So I'll see y'all a little bit later. All right,
Yeah.
Jimmy, take us, man. Quit trying to beat the dog up.
It's time to yabba dabba to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing. Guess what, guys? Appreciate you guys and your patience through the conversation. Thanks to the Sci-Fair Nike Elite program for sharing their thoughts and their experiences this past weekend as participants in the Mamba Cup. And meanwhile, we'll see. They're going to call
crazy.
We'll see you guys in 22 hours, man. You guys be cool. Later. Chop, chop.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop.